Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nico Acosta, the head of AI and machine learning at Twilio. So for those of you who have not heard about Twilio, we are a communications API platform that enables companies to build, scale, and operate communication applications using cloud APIs rather than telecom hardware. If you think about how a traditional stack looks like, you have like your network connectivity that you source to with a local carrier. You have your telco hardware. You have applications on top of that. And then you have like experts and consultants that help you tune that hardware. The Twilio approach is pretty different. We take that network and that telco hardware and we virtualize it in a cloud communications platform. We then take those applications and we offer application platforms and building blocks for you to build whatever experience you want in any modality of communication, whether that's voice, like telephony, video, email, chat, or text messaging. And rather than having professional services on top of it, we democratize it with APIs empowering any developer to build communication applications. When we look at what's going on in the market, there's really three mega trends that are going on here. And they're particularly interesting in the sense that they are interrelated to each other. The first one is not surprising. It's cloud. We've been on this for the last 10 years. Migration to the cloud is something that's like well on its way, but it still has a lot to go, especially in the communications world. The second one is omnichannel. Customers are on a bunch of different channels, and this is only getting broader. With Apple Business Chat coming up, WhatsApp for Business, RCS, then you have telephony, you have all the home assistants, Alexa, Google Assistant. And then the last one is intelligence. Consumers, this is the new expectation. This is the new normal. Customers expect applications to be smart. And then what's special about these three megatrends is that you only get the full value of them if you implement all three of them. You don't get the full value just doing one. But when we look at the customer journey today, look something like this. You're going to buy a product or looking to solve a problem. Right? You first give it a go self-service, and if you can't find the answer, you call in. Right? Anybody want to take a guess what happens? Agent. I don't know, I've never done that. Right? And this is just how it works. But this has many problems. The first problem is that customers actually prefer self-service. On average, 70% of customers prefer self-service when it works. The second problem is that agents are really expensive. If you take kind of like the blended average of agents in like India, the Philippines, the US, and like every company has some combination of agents all around the world. If you take the weighted average, agents cost 40 cents per minute. So 10-minute call already puts you at $4, which is like, it's pretty expensive. But it also has another characteristic, which is the most scariest one, is that the customer experience gets worse as you scale. And that is why the average wait time for large companies is twice as long as for small and medium ones. So that's why we built Autopilot. At Twilio, we are obsessed about providing the building blocks for companies to build the right customer experience. Autopilot lets you increase your self-service rate with intelligent assistants that are instantly intelligent, that are seamlessly omnichannel, and that are easily customizable. Let's take a look at what you can build. You can build conversational IVRs. You can build web, SMS, or mobile chatbots. And you can build Alexa or Google Assistant apps. Let's take a look at some examples. If you take the customer service conversational IVR, the traditional kind of DTMF touch-tone IVR looks something like this. Say, press 1 for reservations, press 2 for flight status, etc. But then the problem is that you only have 10 digits, right? So inevitably, you end up with a really like nested tree of options that is a really bad customer experience. A conversational IVR looks something like this. Hey, how can I help you today? Can you please send me my flight details to my email? Of course, it's nico@twilio.com, the best email, right? Much more efficient. It is a conversational interface, is an interface that users don't need to know how to use. That's why it's so powerful. And on average, a consumer-facing company, there's around 150 to 200 reasons why customers contact them. That does not fit in a 0 to 9 IVR. Or exception handling, when you send a text message confirming an order, and then the user texts back saying like, oh no, I need to change the address for that flower delivery. Normally those messages get ignored, but with Autopilot, you can build an address or an order modification flow that takes care of that. It says, no worries, what's the new address? 121 Spear Street, San Francisco. Great. And you did that in a completely seamless and completely self-service way. Or what the city of Lake Forest is doing in Southern California, offering frequently asked questions to citizens. So if you ask, hey, Alexa asks the city of Lake Forest, at what time does the city hall close? Respond, city hall closes at 5 p.m. It's a great way for the government also to engage with the citizens. This one's one of my favorite, lead qualification and appointment scheduling, where you can ask questions up front, say, how many employees does your company have? More than 1,000. Great. When would be a good time to schedule a call with an expert? And you can go through, qualify, and then schedule a call with one of your SDRs or BDRs. Imagine the sales efficiency that you gain there. And it's still a great customer experience. Or instant quote generation. This is actually the demo that we have at our booth that I want to invite all of you to swing by and take a look, where we do an auto insurance quote based on a conversational flow where we ask for the car make, the model, the year, and your email to send you the quote. But when you think about intelligent assistant platforms, there are two things that are really, really important. The first one is customizability, how customizable it is. You want your experience to be unique. You don't want your experience to be a cookie cutter experience that kind of every single company has. Every company is different, every brand is different. So you want to have full control over the experience. But you want that to be very easy, right? Especially in the customer acquisition and customer service, a lot of times these teams don't have a lot of engineers. And you want to be able to react to things that happen. So if there's a natural disaster and you're an insurance company, you want to change your entire tree and say, hey, for the victims of Hurricane Katrina, go here, and have a bunch of questions and a whole different experience, and you want to be able to do that instantly without having to kick off an entire project to do that. So if you look at on-prem IVRs, you can customize them to some extent, but it's like only voice or only telephony. So it's not that customizable. But when you look at how easy it is to change, they're actually pretty hard to change. A lot of companies have to hire professional services to change them. Or if you look at the kind of cloud intent APIs or NLP APIs out there. They're much more customizable, but it turns out that they're not that easy to use. Building conversational flows is really, really hard still. And then on the other side, we have support bots that are great. They get you going quickly, but they're not that customizable, or similar with software as a service bot builders. They're easy, but they're not that customizable. At Twilio, we're taking a leap step forward with Autopilot, with a platform that is extremely customizable, gives you all the programming building blocks, and it's incredibly easy to use. And how do we do this? We do this starting with a very simple principle, which is using the right tool for the job. Not every customer interaction is equal. First, we have self-service interactions. Something like booking an appointment. It's a great candidate for a self-service experience, right? It's a very well-defined workflow. You need to collect, say, 5 pieces of information. You can integrate it with your backend application. It's a great candidate for self-service. There are other types of tasks that start self-service but then go into human. And they do this by design. Take buying life insurance. You might want to ask for a bunch of questions up front, like what's your yearly income? Do you smoke or not? What state do you live? How many dependents do you have? And then transfer all that context to an agent that does a much more consultative sell. Talks about life goals and what you want to accomplish when, and then sells you the life insurance. And there are some tasks that are really not well suited for bots or virtual assistants. Like if you crash your rental car, believe me, you do not want to be talking to a bot. Right? And this is where empathy comes in. And it's really important for businesses to have this empathy. If you crash your rental car, you want to be routed to an emergency response team that's going to help you, right? So with Autopilot, the basic building block of a conversational experience are tasks. And tasks represent the end goal of what the user wants to do. These are not intents. These are the end goal of what the user wants to do. So get car insurance, cancel policy, get claim status. That is the end-to-end experience of what you want to do. And then you can train those tasks and you can program them. You train them so the machine learning knows how to trigger and invoke a task. And you program them to design what experience you want once the task is invoked. So when you say, hey, I'm reaching out because I need car insurance for my new Lamborghini, Autopilot does the speech recognition, does the intent classification, and then the entity extraction. And this is where the machine learning comes in. And it knows that that sentence means get car insurance, that the make of the car is a Lamborghini, and that it's a new one. And then, once you land on get car insurance, you can decide what that experience looks like. And it can look very different depending on the task. A task can be a data collection workflow, where you say, okay, I want to collect the make, the model, the year, and a bunch of personal information to give you the quote. It could be a system of record question, like, hey, what's the status of my claim? Only your database. You can go over Wikipedia, you will not find the answer. Like that answer is in your database. And you need to have a system of record that says, hey, claim 123 is pending payment. And that's where APIs are so powerful, where you can integrate with your systems of record and answer those type of questions. The other thing it can do is answer knowledge questions of like, can I insure luxury cars? Or can I insure multiple drivers on the same policy? Those are knowledge questions. Or you can hand off to an agent if it's the case of report an accident, for example. Or a combination of these. And you build the tasks with 7 simple conversational actions that are fully programmable, where you can say things, you can wait for input, you can ask questions, you can hand off to human agents, you can remember information to build context of the conversation, and you can even show images in devices that have visual displays. Has built-in capabilities, rich built-in capabilities. This means that you don't have to start training the virtual assistant from scratch. You have 21 built-in models that already understand dates, times, cities, first names and last names. And what this means is that you will be able to get started faster, but most importantly, that your investment in autopilot is an appreciating investment, that the platform will get better and better and better over time, and you will just get those benefits for free. And this is one of my favorite things. You build once, say you build your IVR, and then you can deploy that experience in any channel. This has two things that are critical. The first one is that it decouples your business logic and your intelligence layer from the specific channels. So it lets you reuse that intelligence layer without having to fragment all the machine learning models and redo work over and over again. And it handles the experience in such a way that it transforms the content, adapting it to the channel. If you want to have content that's specific for Alexa or for Facebook Messenger, you can have full control over that. And then, for the case of the handoff, you can contextually hand off to agents. The worst thing when you get bounced around in customer service is when the new agent gets you and then it's like has to start all over again, asking all the same questions all over again, right? Here, you have a first interaction with the bot or with the IVR, and then when it's handed off to the agent, in the case of Flex, that is our contact center platform, gets all the context. So you can see what happened during that conversation, and the agent, here you see what was autopilot, what was customer, and then the agent picks it up from there. So we believe that the right solution is one that gets the intelligent assistant platform working in consonance with your contact center agents, making both of them better. And lastly, you can analyze, annotate, and iterate with our supervised learning loop tools that make your assistant smarter over time. Here, you can learn from what customers are saying and train the assistant so it can understand more and more and more. And this is how you really scale that experience to get much better over time. So to recap, with Autopilot, you can design and build natural conversations. It has rich capabilities built in. You can seamlessly integrate any channel. You can contextually hand off to agents, and you can analyze, annotate, and iterate your experience. So if we go back to the first set of problems that we talked about, the customers actually prefer self-service. With Autopilot, you can increase your self-service rate and make your customers happier. You can serve those customers at 1/10 or 100th of the price. But most importantly, and this is my favorite part, that the customer experience gets better, not worse, gets better as you scale. Where can you apply Autopilot? Pretty much any consumer-facing business, whether it's financial services, automotive, healthcare, travel, insurance. So swing by our booth, come and talk to us about your use case. We're happy to talk about it. One thing that's pretty unique about Twilio, for those who don't know, Twilio is an incredibly transparent company. Our roots are in the developer world. Our founders are developers. Our products are API-based. And if you know anything about developers, is that developers have the best BS detector out there. They like clear upfront communication. And the second thing that developers want is for nobody to get in their way. So everything at Twilio is publicly accessible. All the documentation is there. You don't need to talk to sales if you don't want to. If you want to talk to sales, we are here to help you. But everything is public, including the pricing. So you have all the tools and APIs available. You can sign up for an account and start playing with every Twilio product. With Autopilot, you get unlimited tasks, unlimited model builds. It includes the speech recognition, and you can deploy it on any channel. You can deploy it on a toll-free number. You can deploy it on Facebook Messenger, on WhatsApp, on chat. And everything is priced as you go with no upfront costs. So Autopilot is charged 4 cents per minute. And this is only the portion that is handled by the virtual assistant. So if you call into an IVR, the virtual assistant handles 2 minutes, and then it hands off to an agent that talks with the customer for another 10. You only pay for those 2 minutes. But what we believe is going to happen, and we already started seeing this, is that the portion of the call that is handled by the virtual assistant is going to grow and grow and grow over time. And then you're going to be able to scale your experience much better. In messaging channels, it's 1/10 of a cent per message. Or in Alexa and Google Assistant, 1/10 of a cent per utterance. So how can you get started? As I mentioned, Twilio is completely self-service, completely transparent. You can go to our website, get started. You'll see all the documentation, all the tools you need. But we're also here to help. And we're also here to help you figure out what's the best path possible. So another way you can get started is with a 2-day hackathon, where we go with our Autopilot experts on site, working with your team, and do a hackathon, a discovery hackathon, on what are the possible use cases, and where can you get the most out of this tool and out of this platform for your customer experience, and what experiences you want to transform. With a 2-day hackathon, we go over all the reference architectures, and then essentially you get a proof of concept. After 2 days, you get a team that has exposure to the platform and a proof of concept that you can demo to sell it internally. And then if you're good to go, we also offer a launch acceleration program that ranges anywhere between 3 and 12 weeks, where you have a set of experts kind of working with you, doing the task modeling, doing the training, and doing the architecture reviews to help you get to production as quickly as possible. So we're self-service if you want to, but you can also engage us in a 2-day hackathon or a launch acceleration program. Thank you for your time. As I said, I'm Nico Acosta. I head AI and ML at Twilio. Visit us at twilio.com/autopilot or visit us at booth 301. We'll be here the whole show. Thank you very much.